I must move the coffin.
What's going on, guys? We have a JackWolf knife to talk about. So this is going to be the first one on the channel. Yeah, this is one of Ben's designs. I've actually hung out with Ben on the Knife Junkies podcast before he was doing these. Ben's always been kind of a real big traditionalist with, slip joints, and that's been a big staple of his collection. He's a very nice guy, very knowledgeable, truly loves knives. He's a true knife guy through and through. And I think he came up with this really ingenious, clever branding. And it's been making great waves in the knife community. A lot of people have been raving about this knife as a slip joint. And I do like slip joints. So I think I'll be a good judge of if this is a good knife. I own quite a few. So this is going to be kind of cool, actually. We got some camo carbon in Pacific blue. So not the traditional fat carbon. And this is going to be the Vampire Jack. All right, let's open this guy up. So I've seen videos of Ben's stuff in the past. And again, I'm going to just reiterate the genius. I am a genius of the branding of this guy. I mean, when you pull this tube out and you see Dracula fighting a freaking werewolf. I mean, you know, in this kind of like old, I don't know, I would say either like old classic movie style poster or perhaps even the theme of like a comic book. And I think that is so cool. I mean, like, we could stop the video right there, and I know everybody was like, oh, wow, that's different. So you get a cool tube with this one. It is dated on the bottom here. We got 2022. And can is made in England, not China. That's interesting. You got the JackWolf logo right here. That's his brand. All right, and more information where you can see more about these. I would say the best place to contact Ben is on Instagram. Let's open this bad boy up. So you get your tube. Now, there's tons of stuff. This thing is not just packing a knife like a standard GEC tube. There is a lot of stuff in here. And again, I mean, I think this is genius, and I'm like totally with it. So here's what you get inside the tube here. This is a very nice, high quality little aluminum tube. You get your sticker, drop blood. Yeah, I like that. You get a pog. Now, this is how I know Ben's got to be around my age, because pogs are a thing of kids of the 90s. You got to be a product of the 90s in some way to really like do the pog thing. And if you guys don't know what pogs are, just look it up. I'm not going to spend time explaining the game. It wasn't really my thing, but, you know, like other kids, I played around with them and whatnot. And it was just like something cool to collect, kind of like a Challenger coin, if you will. So you got this nice little pog, I guess, if you will. Got a really nice pouch to go along with your knife. Nice high-grade leather, good stitching. Very accurate with the stitching, not like all wiggly and stuff. Very nice side cut, very well mated.
That's what she said.
Yeah, this is nice. And you got JackWolf Knives on the pouch. This is super cool. I mean, this is like going a little extra above and beyond as far as I'm concerned with the packaging, right? Especially for a slip joint. The slip joint community is not very well known for sending really extravagant packaging. I'm just going to say that right now. So you get this nice cloth right here. with the logo on it. Very nice, very soft microfiber. So we'll put that aside here, and here is your knife. This is a really nice knife. It does really actually quite appear like fat carbon. If you ask me, it looks like the Arctic Storm stuff. But this is nice grades. Very, very nice grade. I've heard of carbon camo a lot. I've been toying with the idea of getting some of that material for some custom builds in the future. Like their gold camo stuff's pretty cool. So this is really nice grade. It's got a nice feel to it. Got a little bit of engrave for the faux bolster effect there. And you've got kind of like a coffin style handle. So that actually is a traditional pattern that you will find on some of the classic slip joints. This is just a more modernized one, and they call it the coffin handle for a very obvious reason. It looks like a coffin, right? And let's get the blade out. Very nice walk and talk on this one. Typical leaf style shape. Little drop point. Yeah, it's gonna need some Windex if I want to do that. I will clean these knives before sending them back to the bad monkey. Yeah, this is nice. So right off the bat, you got a fairly healthy little blade stock right there. It's not like something that, you know, you're gonna feel like you're gonna snap this thing by putting any lateral pressure on it. So it's good there. But besides having this relatively nice, sizable blade stock, it just automatically right up at the top, it dips down to this really heavy hollow grind. I think that's kind of what everybody's been raving about Ben's knives, is the hollow grind. Of course, you know, the modern materials, the construction is really nice too. These are made in China. I do not remember who the OEM is. I know when he made his prototypes, they were designed by Riot, but then I think he went another route for the manufacturing. But doesn't really matter. I mean, look at that. And that's pretty nice machining. Very precise. Cleaner than any GEC I've ever seen anyways. So this is kind of cool. It just kind of takes you back to that traditional design, but it gives you a little bit of that modern fun and flavor with it. So whereas if this thing was just plain titanium or, you know, with some micarta, you know, this gives it a little bit of extra snazz to it, if you will. So I really like that. You also got the traditional nail nick, but it is very firm.
That's what she said.
No blade wrap. Doesn't feel like any. Yeah, and you'd be able to tell when you open this guy up. Nail nick works good. It's got a nice deep groove in there. Everything's clean and machined nicely in there as well. The spring is really, really strong on this guy. I will say that. And another kind of cool thing, or two of them I guess you should see, is you got M390 Steel. You got a little sharpening choil right there too. Another uncommon feature on some slip joints. So a lot of little extra details. If you are going to use a slip joint, I think this is a knife that you would really enjoy for just a few reasons compared to some of the other ones. First of all, it's fun to look at. I think your coworker is looking at weird carbon fiber like this. It's going to draw the eye, so that makes it automatically more fun. You got a little more fun factor. Number two, the size of it. It's the right size to have in any kind of environment. It's not really threatening.
He's got a gun!
But it's not, you know, it's got a long enough blade where you're going to be able to use it on a lot of everyday tasks. Another thing too is the spring on it is super strong, like very, 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 very strong. Like I would only open this thing and close it two-handed just because. Very nice. You don't have to use the nail nick. As you can see, you can kind of pinch grab it open, but very strong spring. So I think that'll give you a level of like confidence when you're using it, that it's not, you know, super giving as far as the spring's concerned. So that'll give you a little bit of extra confidence when you're using it. And of course, you know, M390 blade steel, that's not something you'll find on a traditional slip joint knife. So it's not going to rust on you. It's going to be very high wear resistance, nice edge right out of the box. But even without a great edge, this thing would slice just because of how thin it is behind the edge. So very nice hollow grind, very nice coffin style handle. I'm not a huge coffin handle guy, but I've got to say this one's pretty cool. So overall, good job, Ben. Very good job, man. These are great. I can see why everybody's enjoying them. So yeah, let's put all this stuff back together and wrap up my thoughts. Now, as far as the pricing, here it is right there. I don't think that's too bad at all, in all my honesty. So yeah, overall, I really dig this thing, man. So let's wrap this thing up here. So you got a knife. You know, it's not a cheap knife by any means, but it's not very expensive for the amount of quality stuff you get. And I don't know about you guys. I know some people actually legitimately prefer quantity over quality. And I think that's cool. I think those are the people that are trying to experience more things, right? Like you want to experience as many knives or tools as possible, so you'll buy a whole bunch of different stuff to see kind of what fits you. And that's a really expensive way to go, guys. I know from experience. But I always resort to quality when I find something I intend to keep. And quality, this thing most definitely is. So I'm trying to pack it nicely here for the bad monkey. I think that's nice, keeps everything nice and safe. Very cool, guys. So I really think Ben did a really good job on this, guys. The slip made me feel like I could keep the thing in my pocket securely without it rattling around and getting scratched up with my keys. The sticker is nice for my knife box to add to if I were to buy this. And also the pog takes me back to my 90s childhood, along with this crazy colorful theme packaging, which makes the thing kind of fun and collectible, right? Like it makes you want to collect the set. You want all the monsters, right? The vampires, the werewolves, and yeah, this is really clever marketing, guys. And it's not a gimmick. This is legit. Like, I like the way that Ben did this whole thing. And I really am a subscriber to it. I don't have any JackWolves in my collection at the moment. But I really liked it. I mean, I really wanted to experience one. So big thanks to Troy for allowing me to do so. And Ben, if you're watching this, great job on this product here. And make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, guys. We'll bring out more watch, firearms, guns, knives, all that stuff. We'll do some content. So we'll see you guys all on the next one.